welcome. This is Jeff Brown. I'm the pro bono manager at the State Bar of Wisconsin, and with me today is Rebecca Rapp, an attorney here in Madison with Ascendium. So I'll let her tell you a little bit more about what she does and the kind of pro bono work she's doing, but let's just kick it off with Rebecca. What kind of pro bono work are you doing right now?
Probably the biggest project I've been involved in for a couple of years now. It's called Lawyers for Learners. So I work at a company, Ascendium Education Group. It's a nonprofit really committed to removing barriers to access and success in post-secondary education. And as part of that effort, we really realized that one of the barriers people face could be legal issues. So legal issues can range from a criminal record that could keep you from going into certain really great jobs, like in healthcare, or it could just be something like a family law issue or a housing issue that creates a huge stressor and disruption in your life and can keep you from going to school. So we've partnered with legal aid providers and technical colleges around the state to try to address that and to provide free legal help to folks. So I think close to 1,000 people have already reached out for help. We started in Madison and Milwaukee a couple years ago. We had to pivot a bit because of COVID and move to a virtual model, but that's really allowing us to expand and partner with technical colleges around the state, including in some rural areas where there's not so many attorneys.
Fantastic. Well, is that project using volunteers as well?
Yes. So, and if anybody wants to volunteer, please get in touch. We'd love to have you. But we partner very closely with a bunch of legal aid providers, but in particular, Legal Action of Wisconsin and Judicare. So a lot of our volunteers come from their networks, but we're always looking for people who'd be willing to even do clinics virtually from their desks at a time that works for them. And we're also looking for people to provide some legal education materials and do content for that. So it could even just be writing some articles, short, or doing some webinars about issues that could impact technical college students.
Terrific. And I'll just mention for folks, if you want to learn more about Lawyers for Learners, just go to lawyersforlearners.org. And if you want, we'll put some information with the article and this video about how to get in touch with Lawyers for Learners and how to volunteer. So you mentioned that things have changed in COVID, with COVID and doing more virtual things. That's a common thing that I'm hearing. So what's been the reaction of volunteers and clients to that change? Are they supportive?
I think it's been great. I think that having the virtual model has been beneficial in a couple ways. Number one, it allows us to reach those more remote rural areas where there may not be a lot of attorneys or volunteers. So rather than somebody having to take a whole day to drive 3 hours to meet with a couple clients, they can do it from their desk and maybe see people in different locations. So that's huge. And then secondly, I think a lot of people have really busy lives. They're trying to manage school and often jobs and childcare and other issues. So not having to go to an appointment and sit there and all that transportation and other time and childcare issues, it makes it a lot easier for a lot of clients. Of course, for some people, being virtual isn't as great. There's broadband and other issues. And some people just like having to have face-to-face content or connection with folks. So the hope really is to be able to meet clients and volunteers where they are and figure out how to get everybody to yes in terms of connecting people who need help with help.
Terrific. And I know you're involved with a lot of different things, so I just want to touch on a couple of those. Let's talk about, so Vera Court is a legal clinic here in Madison that you helped start up. So what's that all about and how's that going?
This is a project that's near and dear to my heart. After I had been at Ascendium for just a couple years, I was talking to my boss and brought up the idea of starting doing some more legal aid work. So we looked at various opportunities and we decided that we'd start work with a neighborhood, a local community center near our office, the Vera Court Center in the north side of Madison. And we set up a free legal clinic. We meet with folks there once a month. We had people on the Ascendium team had really kicked it off and staffed it for several years. And then a wonderful family law attorney here in Madison, Elizabeth Fletcher, has really taken over the bulk of the representation of clients there and has been staffing almost all the clinics almost entirely by herself. So a huge shout out to her.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth.
Yes. One thing I will note about Vera Court, and it's really taught me, I think we think a lot about boots on the ground champions or legal navigators. There's a lot of talk about that. But that experience showed me how important that is. We could be willing to go sit there and see clients, but there's no reason clients should trust us with these important issues in their lives or even know that they have legal issues. But the Vera Court team, including somebody who kind of was at the front desk and the coordinator of everything there, really partnered with us and worked with us. So she would help people issue spot that their stressors were legal issues. She helped establish that trust and then really help make the connection so people would actually come in and see us and get help.
Trust is huge. So thanks for pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're also involved with a new rural access initiative. How are, in addition to your day job, so how's that going?
Great. So I've been involved in several board committees for the Legal Services Corporation for the past few years. And Legal Services Corporation has had a number of task force on various issues from opioids to veterans to disasters to evictions over the past couple years. They're launching another one on rural justice and rural access to justice issues. It's set to launch in December, and I am co-chairing that.
Well, okay. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about that sometime next year.
Yeah.
And just lastly, what do you get out of all this volunteering that you're doing? You're obviously doing a lot. What's in it for you? There's a lot in it for the clients. Why do you do this? Why do you do so much?
I have to say, for however little amount I help clients, and hopefully more than a little amount sometime, I get way more out of it than anybody could get. So I think number one, I get to work with people like you, and I know, Jeff, you're connected with the Pro Bono and Access to Justice community around Wisconsin. It's a truly amazing group of just dedicated, committed, interesting, smart, innovative people to work with. So just that alone is pretty awesome. But then I think I just come from this sense of I've been given so much that made it kind of easy for me to go get a law degree, and a lot of people haven't. So if I can take this gift that I've essentially been given and help somebody in one small way get a fair shake or fair shot at things, I can't imagine not wanting to do that.
Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today to talk about this and some of the pro bono work that you're doing. I will make sure that information about some of the projects that we've mentioned here today are included in the video or in the article that accompanies this. So thanks so much for talking to me today, Rebecca.
Great. Thank you so much.
It's always wonderful to see you and work with you.
Thank you very much.